the ultimate survival guide for poker tournaments. Ever dreamt of navigating the thrilling landscape of a poker tournament and coming out on top? You're in the right place. This is your ultimate survival guide to crush poker tournaments from start to finish. Before we dive into the deep end, let's refresh some basics. Think of these as your poker toolkit. You can't build a winning strategy without them. Understanding these fundamentals is key. First up, blind levels. In tournaments, the forced bets, called the small and big blinds, go up at regular intervals. This forces action and makes sure the tournament moves forward. If they didn't, we'd be here all year. Your chip stack is your life in a tournament. It's not just about how many chips you have, but how many big blinds you have. A $10,000 stack is huge when blinds are $50 and $100. But not so much when they're $500 and $1,000. Always think in terms of big blinds. Payout structures show who gets paid and how much. Usually, the top 10 to 15% of players make the money, with the biggest prizes for the final table, especially the winner. Knowing this helps you decide when to play it safe and when to take risks. It's all about that cash. Poker is a game of skill, but luck plays a part in the short term. Bankroll management means only playing tournaments you can afford, so one bad beat doesn't wipe you out. A good rule of thumb: have at least 50 to 100 buy-ins for the tournament level you're playing. Protect your poker bank. Tournaments come in all shapes and sizes. Freeze-outs mean once you're out, you're out. Rebuy tournaments let you buy back in if you bust early. Bounty tournaments give you cash for knocking out players. Pick formats that suit your style and bankroll. All right, the tournament has started. Cards are in the air. The early stages are about building a solid foundation. Blinds are small compared to chip stacks, so there's no need for crazy moves yet. Patience is your best friend here. In the early going, focus on playing strong starting hands. Think big pairs, aces, kings, queens, and strong high card hands like ace-king or ace-queen. These hands have the best chance of making a big pot if they hit the flop. Don't get antsy with junk. Where you act in a betting round is super important. Late position, acting after most others, is like having a superpower. You see what everyone else does before you decide. Use this advantage to play more hands and control the pot size. It's like having the last word in an argument. Your goal is to chip up, but do it smart. Look for spots to win small pots without much risk. If you flop a monster hand, like a set or a flush, try to get value from players with weaker hands. But don't go broke with a marginal hand just because you're bored. As the early stage progresses, if you're in late position and it folds to you, raising to steal the blinds and antes can be a good way to pick up easy chips. But don't overdo it. If players start fighting back, you'll need to adjust. Choose your moments wisely. You made it to the middle stages. Blinds are starting to bite, players are busting out, and the money bubble is on the horizon. Now things get really interesting. This is where good players start to pull away from the pack. When you pick up those monster hands, it's crucial to get paid. If you have a strong hand, don't be afraid to bet for value. You want opponents with weaker hands to call you. This is how you build a big stack to make a deep run. Aggression is good in poker, but it needs to be calculated. Look for spots to 3-bet, re-raise opponents who open raise too often, especially when you're in position or have a decent hand. This puts pressure on them and can win you pots without seeing a flop. Pay attention to how your opponents are playing. Who's tight? Who's loose? Who's bluffing too much? Adjust your strategy based on what you see. If someone is playing very tight, you can steal their blinds more. If someone is bluffing a lot, be ready to call them down lighter. Poker isn't just about your cards. It's about your opponents. Watch their betting patterns, their timing, and any physical tells if you're playing live. Are they betting big when they're strong or when they're bluffing? Every piece of information is a clue. You've made it to the late stages. The money bubble might have burst, or it's very close. Stacks are shallower, blinds are huge, and every decision is critical. This is where champions are made. The pressure is on, but you've got this. If you find yourself short-stacked, usually less than 20 big blinds, your main moves are to go all in or fold. You can't afford to just call raises. Look for good spots to shove your chips in, especially from late position, and hope for the best. It's go time. The bubble, when the next player out gets no money, is intense. Big stacks bully short stacks. If you're a medium stack, try to avoid big clashes unless you have a monster. If you're short, look for a good spot to double up. Don't just blind away. ICM becomes super important near and at the final table. ICM stands for Independent Chip Model. It's a fancy name for an easy way to figure out how much your chips are worth in real money. Sometimes folding what could be a decent hand and position is the right move, if it means you're more likely to move up the payout ladder. It's a bit like financial planning, but for your tournament life. Congratulations, you made it to the final table. Now, it's all about the win. Pay even closer attention to stack sizes and payout jumps. Be aggressive when you can, especially against players who are just trying to ladder up. And remember, at the final table, anything can happen. So there you have it, your ultimate survival guide for poker tournaments. From understanding the basics to crushing the late game, you're now armed with the knowledge to improve your results. Remember, poker is a journey of continuous learning. Good luck!